Mr. President, I come to the floor today to oppose President Biden's executive orders on immigration. Now, there were more than 11 million illegal immigrants in the country today. This is a group equivalent to the population of the entire state of Georgia, and this number has nearly tripled in the last 30 years. In fact, some experts say the number's a lot higher than that. Folks at Yale and MIT and the researchers there said it could actually be twice as high. It could be 22 million people in the country illegally. Well, that's more than the population of the entire state of New York. So it appears to me, Mr. President, that illegal immigration is making a mockery of our borders. Yet President Biden and this administration refused to admit, even as of this morning, refused to admit that there is a crisis at the southern border. Now, if you talk to law enforcement all across the country, they will tell you that many of the problems that they face every day are problems related to our open southern border. The Drug Enforcement Administration has said for nearly a decade now that the vast majority of illegal drugs in America come here across the southern border. Now, these drugs, I'm a doctor, I will tell you, these drugs have killed thousands of Americans. They kill thousands of Americans every year. They tear families apart. They lead to heartbreaking stories. They rob people of their God-given potential. Mr. President, our law enforcement, our Coast Guard, our border agents, they do heroic work every day to intercept drugs, to stop human trafficking. They can't do it alone. They need the support of the United States Senate. Well, during the debate last week over the spending bill, we had a chance to give them support. Senator Cruz introduced an amendment to prevent checks from going to illegal immigrants. Democrats blocked it. Senator Cotton introduced an amendment to cut the bailout funding to sanctuary cities. Well, these are cities that actively try to prevent federal agents from enforcing our immigration laws. Democrats blocked the amendment. So no wonder we have a crisis at the border. Democrats seem to be advertising to the entire world, come here now. If you come here illegally, you can get a check, possibly. If you're an immigration enforcement officer, Democrats seem to block them from doing their own job. President Biden has already issued at least seven executive orders on immigration. Just over a month in office, President Biden has already proven to be the most open border president in United States history. Now we face an entirely predictable crisis at the border. That crisis rests squarely at President Biden's feet. On his first day in office, President Biden shut down construction of the southern border wall. By the time the day was over, President Biden stopped all deportations for 100 days. It didn't matter to President Biden what you were going to be deported for. No. Now, maybe you're a serious criminal. President Biden says, you can stay longer. A court has already stepped in and said this is illegal, this executive order. President Biden has astonishingly brought back the idea of catch and release. Catch and release. He's ordered our immigration agents to release illegal immigrants into the United States, and he's doing it in the middle of a pandemic. Senator Cotton and I sent a letter to the president raising this concern. It's now harder to go to church in some parts of America than it is to cross the border into America. Under President Trump, if you wanted to apply for asylum in this country, you had to remain in Mexico. That was the policy. The policy of remain in Mexico was based on the standards of international law. To get asylum, you have to show that you can't live safely in your home country because of persecution. Understandable. Yet the fact is that most illegal immigrants don't come here because of persecution. They come here for economic reasons. They want a better job. They want better schools for their kids. They are understandable motives. Nonetheless, they're not standards for asylum. Now, another requirement for asylum is that you have to go to the nearest safe country and seek asylum. You don't get to pick anywhere you want to go in the world. You have to go to the nearest safe country. Yet people around the world know that our asylum system here in the United States has become a sham. No secret, it's easy to game the system, and it's being gamed regularly in the Biden administration. So, they often stop in at least one other safe country, and they apply for asylum here. President Biden now says, you don't have to wait in Mexico, cross the border, we'll give you a court date years from now. And after they give you the court date, they release you into the United States. Even those who know they don't qualify and will not qualify for asylum, they come anyway, because they know they get released into the United States. Mr. President, it happens all the time. Just before the new administration took over, the Department of Homeland Security published a report about this. According to the department, our border agents apprehended 3.5 million illegal immigrants along the southern border between 2014 and 2019. Only 8% of them, 1 out of 12, ended up receiving legal protection from being deported. But the department says half of them are still here in the United States. So how does that happen? They didn't show up. President Biden has also started an unprecedented expansion of a refugee program. The most refugees that this country has ever resettled in a single year was 85,000 in President Obama's final year in office. President Biden wants to break the record. He wants to increase it to 125,000. It'll be the most by far. President Biden has told his administration to bring back the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, also known as DACA. Now, this is a program for people who were brought here illegally while they were children. Not the children's fault. Yet DACA is illegal, plain and simple. President Obama has admitted it. Liberal activists have asked him to do it. At least 10 different times, President Obama said, no, I can't do it, it's illegal. Then an election year came, he decided to do it anyway. Mr. President, as you and I know, we are a nation of compassionate people. We're giving, we're generous, and we have the most generous immigration system in the world. The issue before us is one that should be handled by Congress, not by executive order. Not through an illegal executive order, and DACA is still illegal. I expect the court will ultimately strike it down. So this is some of what President Biden has done by executive order. At the same time, he's trying to cram an even more radical agenda through Congress. Last month, President Biden's immigration bill was introduced in the Senate. It already has the support of 26 co-sponsors on the Democrat side of the aisle. It includes the majority leader, Senator Schumer. Well, this bill will give illegal immigrants not just amnesty, citizenship. Democrats in Washington tried that in 2007, the year I arrived in the Senate. The American people picked up the phone. They actually shut down the phone lines, shut down the switchboards here at the United States Senate. They were all calling in to say no. Democrats in Washington tried it again in 2013. The American people picked up the phone again. American people said no. And we said no in the Senate. We said no in 2007, no in 2013. The American people are going to say no again in 2021. Now, President Biden has signed a lot of executive orders. Many of them, the ones I talked to people at home this past weekend in Wyoming, very unpopular. Polls show his immigration order are the most unpopular of them all. President Biden should keep in mind that there's a very close election in November. We have a 50-50 Senate, very narrow margins in the House. The American people, for the first time, are finding out just how liberal Joe Biden is. Many of them are already having buyer's remorse. They didn't believe he would be this radical and his actions would be this scary. President Biden needs to listen to the American people. American people don't want a radical, extreme, dangerous, scary agenda. We want safe communities. We want laws obeyed. We want a secure border. And it's time to stand up to this radical agenda. Our immigration system is broken. Instead of breaking it further, we should work together to fix it. Let's protect our communities, protect our American workers, and secure our southern border. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor. Suggest the absence of a quorum.